recording now.
Robert.
Hi guys, my name is Molly Gray and I'm a fourth year electronic engineering master's student and the head of Women in Tech for DataSoc this year. I'm so happy to welcome you all to our very first Women in Technology Speaker Series event. We're delighted to have so many new members from first years to final year students. So today myself and Jenny are going to be interviewing Evelyn Normayo, who's a really successful and inspirational female leader in STEM and in tech. Evelyn is highly qualified. She's a senior software developer as well as founder of Phase Innovate, which if you guys haven't heard about it, it's a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping the underrepresented in STEM fields. So basically we've gathered a few questions that you guys have sent in, and Jenny and I are going to take it in turns to kind of ask Evelyn a couple of questions just to reflect on her academic background, maybe the high points in her career, any challenges she might have faced along the way, and perhaps if she has any advice for us, she might share that with us too. So yeah, I'll pass you over to Jenny now, who's going to introduce herself as well.
Yeah. Hi everyone, my name is Jenny Hughes. I am a final year Commerce International student and I'm head of events and operations at DataSoc, along with Molly. So Evelyn, we're absolutely thrilled to have you here today. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to talk to us. First of all, I want to say a big congratulations in your recent success with the Technovation Girls competition. But before I dive into that and ask you a bit more about it, I'd love for you to just introduce yourself to everyone and tell us a bit about your background for everyone listening.
All right, thank you so much for having me. I'm actually delighted. I like attending things like this because it gives me the opportunity to shout out to more girls to join the STEM group. So basically, like you said, my name is Evelyn Normayo. I am a full stack developer. I am a data scientist. I am an educationist. I'm also a technology consultant. And one thing that I take pride on to announce that is that I'm a woman in tech evangelist. So basically, I encourage more girls to get into the tech space. So my career actually started as a banker, and I've worked contracted for several organizations, small businesses, multinationals, SMEs, and the likes, as a software developer and as a trainer. So that's about a summary of who I am.
Oh, great. So Evelyn, you made the headlines a couple of weeks ago. I'm not sure if many people on society read the Irish Times, but you were featured. I saw it for the Technovation Girls competition. So this invites teams from all around the world to solve real-world problems using technology. And what was truly remarkable to me was that out of the 6 teams you mentored and guided, 4 of them made it to the semi-finals. And you had one very special team who made it to the senior division finals. So do you want to tell us a bit about the team, about the summit and the inspiration behind their app?
All right. So basically I'll tell you how I got into this space of actually mentoring young girls. And definitely I have that passion to teach. I love impacting knowledge. However, the turning point would have been 2 years ago. I think I was in UCD then. I was in UCD then. As a woman, I remember then being the only woman in the program that I was in. I was doing a master's program then. I was kind of heading towards a PhD program there, but I stopped and moved on to Trinity College. But I had some experience that it kind of pushed me to say, listen, we need to get more girls into this space. You get it? And it would have been the way the boys in my class there were doubting my intelligence. That's the way I felt. They might not have seen it that way because they call it unconscious bias, So I just felt the need that, listen, if we have people that look like me, my color, and even girls, if they see more of them in this space, it might not be a big deal anymore. even though I know the world has been clamoring about having more girls in tech. So I think after my exams, and I said, listen, this summer, I'm going to get more girls. I'm going to start training girls from my pockets, young girls. So I started doing that. So I called out, I just sent an email out. I said, listen, I want to train. I had 20 girls in mind, but I realized that 50 girls applied for it. It was like a summer camp. I did it for free, and I was like, oh my God, so the girls that really need this. So that was actually the genesis of it. So it was a summer camp thing, but then later on, I was like, I don't want this to end here. Do you get it? So I said, okay, I need to set up an organization to actually make it structured. So that's what actually led to the birth of Phase Innovate. Some anger to like get more people on board, and so that was what led to it. Then at the same time, I said, okay, how do I make this good? Who is there that's already doing something like this? And guess what? I saw this group of African girls. People were just sharing them all over the place. They won Technovation 2018. They won it. I was like, what's this all about? So I researched further. I realized that it was a global competition that advised, or rather that get girls to go into their community to search for social problems and use technology to solve it. I said, I thought that was so exciting. I loved it because it's something that I'm passionate about. So when I looked at the girls that won, I said, I can do this. I can get girls to win this as well. I said that to myself. So I now contacted them in America. I said, listen, how do I get involved? I looked at it, I said, there's nobody doing it in Ireland. Ireland was not there. Then later I found out that actually one of my colleagues actually did it the year before, but they did not get to the quarterfinal stage. Sorry, I'm talking, stop me if I'm talking too long, okay?
Yeah.
So I know how to talk. So basically, I applied, and they made me the regional ambassador for Technovation Ireland. And the other lady that did it as well the previous year, she too was made the regional ambassador. So at the moment, we're 2 regional ambassadors for Technovation in Ireland. So that was actually the genesis. So last year we did it, but we did not, I think we stopped at the quarterfinal stage. But this year, because of the COVID, for some reason, we did not do, typically in each country will have what they call the local competition. And last year we did it in Microsoft. So a country can only send 4 teams. That's the way it's structured. A country can only send 4 teams, 2 from the senior division and 2 from the junior division. So those 4 teams that were sent, they only got to the quarterfinal stage. It was kind of determined by the judges. Do you know what I mean? The local judges. Okay. So, but unfortunately, these girls that won, they did not select them. And their app was actually geared towards solving problem that has to do with kidnapping and all that. And that's not that prevalent in Ireland. So it did not make sense to the judges. But anyway, but this year, because of the COVID, there was no Microsoft stuff. We just sent all our work straight to the main, whatever, abroad. So different countries would judge them. About 7 different countries would judge each app. So basically, that's the story of how it works. So, but of course, you can imagine the joy when we had, of course, we got to quarterfinals. It was like, whoa, we're getting there. Then semifinals, and 4 of my teams, actually, I mentored 6 teams. And 1 did not finish, so I didn't expect that team to go further. So I could literally say 5 teams. So I was actually shocked that the 5th team did not get to the semi-finals, because I actually thought that was the best team. So I think later on we discovered that one country, Croatia, they marked them down. Maybe they didn't understand what they said, whatever. But anyway, so I was delighted to see that or most of the girls that I mentored got to that stage. And the funny enough, about 30 teams submitted from Ireland, from other teams, 30 teams. So it's interesting that a lot of girls are getting into this space, And so basically, that's the story of how we got there, They go out to their community, look for a social problem, and use an app to solve that social problem. And coincidentally, these girls that won, they were using some sort of inspiration that I got from, because my mom died of dementia. She died of dementia. In fact, she hasn't been buried yet because of the COVID-19. So I'm going to be going home to go bury her soon. But the truth of the matter is that it was that inspiration from the death of my mom that led to the birth of Memory Haven.
Wow, and it's really powerful that there was actually a genuine need for the technology and that they developed, and it wasn't just like
for play.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. And do you know what? We were passionate about it, and the fact that for instance, with myself, I experienced it. I knew what my mom went through. I knew my mom used to be a very powerful woman, very strong woman. You depend on her. But for that devil to steal a brain, forget everything, it was terrible to come to terms with, to say, this is a shadow of who this person is. So there's a passion, that we all put into it to develop the app. And we're so grateful that a lot of countries now, they are looking forward for the implementation, or, for us to launch it. I've been talking to companies from America that are very interested, geriatricians, even in Ireland as well, London, got some calls from, a lot of people are interested in it. We never knew that it was so needed, Yeah. So that's the story of Memory Haven anyway.
I think, when you have first-hand experience with something, that passion can lead to something great. And I think that Technovation in general, I hadn't heard about it until, as Jenny mentioned, that article was shared in Irish Times. And it seems like such a good and a well-run competition. So definitely something that I'm sure people will be taking note of now for next year. Lots of members listening, I'd say it sounds very interesting. But so moving on then, just a bit about yourself, if you don't mind. So obviously a lot of our members and people listening are probably undergraduate students. So do you want to talk a bit about kind of how you found your experience as a whole as an undergrad, and kind of how you began to specialize and find what area you wanted to narrow into, how you kind of got to where you are today in terms of specializing and narrowing down your area? So just kind of a review. Thanks.
You see, I'm filled with stories. I never start. I'm filled with stories. So basically, my first degree was economics and statistics. You wouldn't believe it. So I was actually in the business space, and I was originally from Nigeria, So while I was in Nigeria, I did that in Nigeria. So when I came to Ireland, because I always wanted to do IT, because I always mingled with IT professionals. I was like, what's going on, the codes and all that. They're always feeling cool. As if they know everything, So I said, okay, now that I'm in Ireland, I'm going to learn it. I'm going to, So basically, I'll tell you, because I had a degree before, I went to do a master's degree in computer science. But guess what? It was a fiasco for me. It was disastrous for me. Okay. To me, I'm telling you my experience, because I jumped from a business background, economics, to programming, and and most of my classmates then, they had computer science undergraduate degree. So they knew so much more compared to what I knew. And I'm this type of person that, listen, if I'm not good, I'm not good. If I have to be good, I have to be good enough. I graduated, but I wasn't satisfied. But I went back to do an undergraduate degree in computer science. You won't believe it. I did that. Some people were like, what's wrong with her? But I knew what I wanted. So I went back to do the computer science. Yes, now I know what I'm doing. I saw all the things that I missed, because I felt doing that master's, there's a gap. I was missing so much, So I went back to do the computer science, and it wasn't, I'm a matured person then, do you know what I mean? But I'm a very jovial person, and people wouldn't even know how old I am. I don't tell people, I mingle up with the young ones and all that. But I know that the first impression that people get of me as a woman then would have been, does she know it? That kind of thing. As a matter of fact, one boy, somebody was chatting with, a guy was chatting with another guy when they had me. Whatever, they actually shared us in groups, and I was the only girl. And the two boys were chatting among us. So, are you sure she will know it? And guess what? The third guy there copied what they were saying about me. I see, she won't know it. Like you're looking for someone else to be part of the team. So, and that was just one instance. I had several instances of me being judged. I don't know if it's the way I look. I don't look smart, or I don't know, whatever they're judging. But I went through that process of being judged, not knowing what I'm doing. I even remember one time in UCD, my professor said, "Oh yeah, after I developed the app, you know the way you have to give your presentation." They said, "Oh yeah, did you do this yourself? Do you get that?" They asked me that question. As if she can't do it. It's too much for her to be able to do this. I was like, and meanwhile, when the other guys were explaining the whole stuff, they didn't ask them, "Did you do that? Do you get it?" So I was judged, but again, because my eyes were focused on the ball, I know it wasn't going to be easy to get there. So I did not allow all this distraction, discourage me from forging ahead. Because I know some young people, because of that, they could say, "I'm not doing this anymore," to drop out. After all, computer science, for instance, the research shows that the number of dropout rates in computer science is the highest. It's the highest, and this could have, at least for girls, this could be one of the reasons why people drop out. So my advice when it comes to this, do not let the way people judge you, maybe for women, to underestimate your ability to deter you from your dreams. Don't look left or right, just go for it. So that's my mantra. That is what I've been using wherever I find myself, and to focus on the results, not how I get there. What other question did you ask me here?
I think that's really sound advice and really inspirational. I think even for Jenny and I, but definitely for a lot of our listeners, that just try to ignore the distractions as you describe them. And there always are going to be people who I feel undervalue your opinion for a variety of reasons, whether that's because you're female or not. But I think the advice you've given is so important. Just then, this is a really general question, but one that we'd kind of like to ask all of our speakers that we have in. But so apart from kind of obviously the technical skills and the qualifications that are necessary for big roles, what do you think makes a good leader? It's such a general question, but what kind of soft skills would you recognize in a person and kind of value the most in a leader, aside from obviously having the qualifications and all the important degrees that you've already gone through?
You have a lot of...
Actually, for a leader, you need to be a people person. I see that. Because if you do not know how to even get the people that work with you be comfortable, that's problematic. When they see you as that boss there, you need to be the servant before, let people elevate you before you start elevating yourself. So in other words, you need to get your hands dirty as well as a leader. You need to do what you say, not you go do what I do, but I can do it. Do you know what I mean? So I feel a leader first should be a servant before the lead. And being a servant means you knowing exactly whoever you're guiding, your subordinates, what they are doing. Because if you don't even know what they are doing, how would you even guide them to know how you do, what to do? So I feel being of service to your subordinates is key. And being a people person is key as well. You need your staff or whoever you're working with, your subordinates, to feel very comfortable with you. Well, you want them to be able to talk to you when they have problems. You want to be approachable. When they have problems, you need to be able to say, "Listen, I have a problem." And you're not going to judge them because they have that problem. And now say, "Oh yeah, that person." No. You need to, have this open door policy. That's why some organization, the last organization I worked with, you could see we're all on the same level. We're all on the same flat. Sorry, the same open space. Do you get it? Open space. The boss is, you don't even know who the boss is. Do you know? I love that kind of thing, but I tell you, that's one form of leadership. Some people don't like it that way, you know, they want everything to be, but I feel walking that way, being free, being open to your subordinates, it makes them want to come to you. That means you will be listening, your ears will be on the ground because the people around you, they are not doing things that you don't know about. So that is one of my mantra about leadership. You know, there's still more, but those are the ones that I feel that are very, very important to me. I don't take them for granted.
Thank you so much, Evelyn. That's such lovely advice, and I hope that the girls who are listening in today can really learn from that. And it's really remarkable to me how you can just bring other people up with you as you succeed. You know, not only are you blazing your own trail, but you're blazing others as well. So.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, thank you for acknowledging that. I didn't realize that, but I think that's it, because that puts a smile on my face when I see people move from one level to another. There was one interview my girls were having, I think it was with RTE, and they asked them, you know, what have you gained from Technovation? So one of the things that one of the girls said, Margaret, and she, you know, it touched me, and she said, it is not all about even the winning, it is the way I have developed.
Yeah.
When I started, I was this type of person that will go, you know, I don't like, you know, you force them to speak. They don't talk, they're shy. But now, I'm even shocked. I'm like, I'll just give Margaret a script, go do this. And she will go, pop, pop, pop. I was like, woo. You know, they've developed. I was like, this is beautiful. And they've acknowledged, I'm seeing them, but I wasn't seeing it. I said, wow, because I remember when I first met them, and I'm seeing them now. They're like eagles now, eaglets to eagles. So, and they've noticed that themselves, you know, without me saying it. So when I was listening to their interview, they were saying that, wow, I've developed, I've done this, you know, and that's what I like in it. That's what I love about what I do, to get more, to move them from zero to hero, hopefully. You know, that's what I love doing.
Evelyn, I'm afraid we've run out of time. I think this video...
You should have stopped me. You know, I told you I talk too much now.
Everything you said has been so insightful, and it's coming from a place of passion. I think you can hear it in your voice.
All right.
And yeah, I just think you're a brilliant role model, and you're giving other girls a voice, which is great, and someone to look up to. Which is sometimes all you need, is someone to look up to and someone you can relate to.
Absolutely. It's so true. And someone to look up to, and feedback is so key. Oh yeah, that's it. The thing is almost gone.
Yeah, sorry, we are running out of time, but definitely
that's okay.
That one of the reasons we reached out to you was because you stood out so much as being someone who was trying to lift others up along with your own successes, and whether that was through Phase Innovate, the Technovation, all your teams, their successes. It's just such an inspiration, and I think it's really good for everyone to hear. Yeah, unfortunately we have run out of time. Do you think if
I'll stop recording the video now, but do you want to say one final goodbye?
Me?
Yeah.
Of course, goodbye to everyone. At least for the girls. I don't know who is going to be listening to this, but one thing I want to quickly say is that whatever you plan, whatever you're doing, once you're focused on it, you will definitely get there. You know, and you guys are young and all that. There's distraction here and there, but always keep your eyes on the ball. Okay. So it was lovely to chat with you all.